Today, I'm going to discuss an interesting IELTS writing topic. Increasing travels between countries enable people to learn different cultures or to increase tension between people from different countries. If you have an idea for this topic, pause the video and write it yourself first. Then watch this video on YouTube. It doesn't matter what your level is. Just start by thinking about the topic and begin with your own vocabulary. Besides, I'll break down the introduction. The first part of the essay the examiner will read, and it will give them a good first impression of what to expect in the rest of the essay. We will explore all body paragraphs. You should go into more detail on the topic and expand on your main idea. Afterwards, I provide a solid conclusion. And then, we'll also assess key vocabulary that will help boost your writing score. Let's dive in. Globalization is a catch-all term that refers to any activity that involves more than one country. For example, travel from one country to another. The dramatic increase in transnational travel in recent years has sparked controversy over the potential impacts of this trend on individual countries, especially those new member states of globalization. Some people are concerned that the upsurge in new arrivals will prompt local hostility against visitors. Instead of promoting their understanding on mutual cultural background, this notion should be rejected, as one can see many facts in favor of this development between countries. The introduction paraphrases the idea of increasing travels between countries, with dramatic increase in transnational travel, and shifts the focus to the impacts of travel. It introduces the central idea of cultural understanding versus tension, which reflects the core of the original question. The introduction does a good job of paraphrasing the topic. The first reason why international travels would never bring conflict is rooted in the fact that both visitors and locals are economically motivated. International travel opens up opportunities for business development throughout the world. Entrepreneurs are interested not only in the domestic market, but also in the overseas market. Foreigners should learn the culture of a country before winning over the local people. In turn, locals should show their hospitality to visitors in exchange for their trust. They share a view that acceptance of each other's cultural background is a necessary condition for cooperation. The first body paragraph provides a response to the essay prompt, but it could be more explicit in linking the argument to the idea of learning different cultures versus increasing tension. The paragraph emphasizes that international travel creates economic opportunities, which in turn encourages cooperation and mutual cultural understanding. The main topic of the paragraph is that economic motivation and the business opportunities provided by international travel create mutual benefits for both visitors and locals. The paragraph focuses on the idea that economic factors can lead to cultural understanding by fostering cooperation and trust, which ties back to the idea that travel promotes positive outcomes. Understanding a culture has other implications. Differences in social background, cultural value, and religious belief might make the discrepancy of foreigners and local inhabitants on some issues indelible. However, the higher interaction, the higher level of communication and understanding. Arabians, for example, used to consider Westerners as their foes. Now they have concrete relations with their Western allies in many fields. In the initial stage, their divergence seemed inherent. But over time, with better mutual understanding, they take the same position on many issues. The paragraph partially addresses the task by discussing how understanding a culture can bridge differences and foster better communication. It acknowledges that cultural, social, and religious differences can lead to tensions, but argues that increased interaction and understanding can overcome those tensions, promoting cooperation. This aligns with the idea that increased travel and cultural exchanges can reduce misunderstandings. The main topic of this paragraph is the idea that cultural understanding, developed through increased interaction, can reduce tensions and foster cooperation. The paragraph uses the example of Arabians and Westerners, explaining how their relationship has evolved from being adversaries to allies in many areas. This emphasizes the importance of understanding and communication in overcoming initial cultural differences. Undeniably, it is likely that in some resorts, foreign visitors repel the local community with their scant regard for the local environment and conventions when they first arrive. However, it should be noted that most offense is accidental rather than intentional. Instead, visitors disobey rules and conventions simply because they have no knowledge of them. This situation is expected to be improved with the passing of time when visitors from different countries increase their knowledge of a local culture. The third body paragraph effectively addresses one side of the argument in the task by acknowledging that international travel can sometimes lead to tension between visitors and locals. It provides an example of how foreign visitors may initially offend locals due to a lack of cultural understanding, which reflects the potential for tension mentioned in the prompt. The main topic of the paragraph revolves around the potential negative impact of cultural ignorance, particularly when visitors unintentionally offend locals due to their lack of knowledge. The paragraph acknowledges the possibility of tension, but shifts the focus to the idea that this tension is usually temporary and mitigated by increased cultural awareness over time. According to the above analysis, we can observe that the increase in the international travel should not be taken as the cause of any conflict that arises between two countries. Alternatively, one should recognize its role in improving mutual understanding between two countries. In conclusion, the writer effectively wraps up the text, making the purpose of the writing clear. The first two paragraphs express the writer's positive ideas, which are well connected to the rest of the paragraphs. The introduction successfully paraphrases the question and presents the thesis. Thesis is clearly stated and directly responds to the prompt, making the introduction relevant and focused. The first body paragraph effectively makes the case that international travel fosters cooperation by emphasizing economic motivations and the importance of mutual cultural understanding. However, it could be enhanced by more directly paraphrasing the essay question, addressing both sides of the argument, and improving the grammar and fluency in some parts. The second body paragraph introduces the idea that cultural understanding can reduce tensions and promote cooperation, supported by a real-world example of Arab-Western relations. The third body paragraph effectively addresses the potential for tension caused by cultural ignorance and explains that such issues are usually accidental. It supports the broader argument that cultural understanding improves with time, which can reduce tension. The conclusion clearly restates that while there may be some challenges, international travel mostly leads to more understanding between countries, which is a positive outcome. Just a quick reminder about the key vocabulary section. Make sure to read the description and check out all the words used in the text along with their meanings. All right, that's all for today. Take care, sweeties.